a difference as colleagues who last attended a lecture in 1975 met at State House to reflect on the milestones and their role in transforming communities and the continent at large. President Emmerson Mnangagwa was part of this class at the University of Zambia, and upon seeing his long-time friend and classmate, Justice Esau Chulu, whom he shared the hostel, the head of state was elated. Addressing former classmates and cabinet ministers, President Mnangagwa said Africa must take charge of its destiny.
While we managed to win political emancipation on the continent, much more must be done to realize sustainable economic independence for our people. Our continent continues to grapple with skewed economic relations. These emanate from the global north, with some countries assuming that they have an inalienable right to keep us in perpetual subjugation. This will never be allowed to continue. Africa must confidently assert herself standing in the Committee of Nations and proud as a people. Relations between the North and the South should be reset. We are equals. We reject the horse and the rider relationship. We are masters of our own destination as a people.
The head of state noted the impact that the class of 1975 has made in championing community, national and continental development, adding that Zimbabwe is fostering development despite the existence of illegal economic sanctions.
The post-independence years were characterized by varying epochs, but ultimately we remained guided by the need to reclaim our land from those who had brutally stolen it from us. We take pride that as Zimbabwe, we achieved this objective. However, the consequences saw neo-colonial Western establishments imposing sanctions on our motherland, Zimbabwe. Today, 25 years after imposition of these heinous sanctions, we are marching on, inspired by our national development philosophy that a country is built and is ruled and is prayed for by its own people. All our people are determined to build, modernize, industrialize our country, no matter the odds pitted against us.
University of Zambia alumni Mr. Bonaventure Mutale and Justice Esau Chulu applauded President Mnangagwa's leadership towards championing development.
You are an exceptional leader who has demonstrated, true friendship and that has never looked down upon your former classmates. Despite your elevation, as already been mentioned, you have always looked back and remembered that you've got brothers and sisters back home in Zambia, and we can only wish you many, many more blessings.
It is indeed my sincere hope that this experience, this deep experience, has been documented for posterity. Lastly, Your Excellency, it will be remiss of us not to recognize that we have managed to attain this milestone largely because of Your Excellency. You have over the years galvanized us to pursue this common cause. You have been very supportive.
From State House, the delegation toured the Museum of African Liberation in Warren Park to appreciate government efforts to preserve the history of the African continent and its struggle for liberation. The Unza Law class of 1975 had 53 students, most of whom are now deceased. On his part, President Mnangagwa established a scholarship fund to assist the less privileged and talented students to study in Zimbabwe and Zambia. Bruce Chawanda, ZBC News, Harare.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa has rallied fellow African leaders to strengthen collaboration towards combating and eliminating the cholera epidemic, which remains problematic in many countries.
African heads of state and government convened a crucial meeting this Wednesday, directing attention on the resurgence of the cholera epidemic, which experts say is partly driven by climate change. This comes as latest reports by the World Health Organization (WHO) indicate Africa has reported 2/3 of all cholera cases globally and 99% of all cholera-related deaths reported this year alone. In a speech read on his behalf by Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, President Emmerson Mnangagwa noted that the continent should strengthen integration for the prevention, control, and elimination of the infectious disease.
Our government fully recognizes the importance of a whole-of-government approach in combating cholera. The fight against this deadly disease demands collaboration across all sectors: health, water and sanitation, infrastructure, education, and governance. Excellencies, this is a regional challenge that requires regional solutions. Let us strengthen our collaboration as neighboring states, sharing information, harmonizing strategies, and coordinating cross-border responses. Cholera knows no borders, and neither should our collective action.
To fully address this challenge, the head of state noted the urgency to increase investment towards water, sanitation, and hygiene wash programs.
To defeat this disease, we must prioritize: 1. Massive investment in water and sanitation infrastructure. Upgrading and expanding water and sewer systems, especially in urban settlements and growing rural communities. Replacing old, dilapidated infrastructure with modern, sustainable technologies.
These sentiments were also echoed by the World Health Organization (WHO) Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, who stated that increased investments in WASH are needed urgently from both national budgets and development funding. During the meeting of the leaders, President Mnangagwa noted the cholera epidemic should be treated as a humanitarian priority.
This is not just a health emergency, it is a development challenge, a humanitarian priority, and a test of our leadership and resolve. Let us rise to the occasion and commit to a united, well-resourced, and sustainable cholera elimination strategy.
The virtual meeting was chaired by Zambian President His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema and was attended by several heads of state and government from within Africa, as well as officials from the Africa Center for Disease Control. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
The Second Republic is forging ahead with road infrastructure development amid revelations of several key projects targeted to decongest areas in and around Harare. Briefing the media after this Tuesday's cabinet meeting, the Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Honorable Felix Mona, confirmed that feasibility works have already started on some targeted sites, including the intersection of Simon Mazorodze and Willowville Road, as well as along the Mavuku turnoff.
Close to Rothmans, Willowville, Simon Mazorodze Junction, we are already starting a great separation, which is a mini interchange, and concurrently at the ZBC. So this is something that will be happening now as we speak. But we are now going to mirror is the entire Great Harare, where already as I speak, we've started mobilizing at Mavuku Junction. We are mobilizing on site, where we are going to have great separation again, and those who are actually going to airport will be accessing the airport right from the junction. Those to the great city will also be accessing from that same platform. And also the Jaggers, which was known as Jaggers before, the Mutare Road and Harare Drive, where we are also going to be having a mini interchange.
Still on infrastructure development, stakeholders in the transport sector have welcomed Cabinet's recent approval of principles of the Road Accident Fund Bill. They say the fund will be a key part of the national post-crash response.
Zimbabwe is for long grappled with a high rate of road accidents, with statistics indicating an average of 5 deaths per day. A significant challenge has been the inadequacy of existing insurance frameworks, which often fail to guarantee immediate evacuation or medical treatment, leaving emergency service providers hesitant to act without guaranteed payment. Cabinet's recent approval of the principles of the Road Accident Fund Bill is a game changer, as it seeks to address gaps in the country's current post-accident response system.
The Second Republic has put in place a mechanism to ensure that anybody who is involved in a crash will be attended to. A critical aspect of the Road Accident Fund is that it's no-fault based. Under normal circumstances, after a crash, we have to determine who is at fault, then the insurance kicks in. In this case, it doesn't matter. And we hope that the next steps now, which is the relevant consultations in line with the Constitution of Zimbabwe, so that the principles are transformed into a bill and eventually an act of parliament.
Road Accident Fund yauya zvakanaka kuti ikwanise kupa vanhu mari vanenge vakuvara vakwanise kurapa.
Stakeholders and the public believe the fund was long overdue, as it will remove barriers that have previously hindered timely interventions in accidents and post-crash services.
Tatakukumbirisa sema-transporters or sema-associations ndechekuti dai zvachiimplementwa zvibva zvabatsira nekuti ma-accidents anoitika each and every day.
Mutemo uyu uchaita kuti zvichitibatsira pakurapisa vanhu vanenge vakwara kana vanenge washaika waya.
Panowanika njodzi yemugwagwa, dzimwe nguva munhu unenge usina pekutangira kana pekubata, saka pakaparwa homwe yekuti inogara ine mari zvinobatsira.
Announcing the development in a post-cabinet media briefing this Tuesday, the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Jennifer Muskwere, said the main objectives of the Road Accident Fund Bill is to reduce deaths and injuries from road traffic accidents by 2030 through access to safe, affordable and sustainable transport systems, as well as improving road safety for all. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe says it has engaged banks to increase the circulation of ZiG notes in response to concerns by the transacting public that there is still limited circulation of the notes.
In an exclusive interview with ZBC News in Harare this Tuesday, RBZ Governor Dr. John Mushavano revealed that the ZiG has performed extraordinarily well, as it is now widely accepted, but urged the banks to further expedite their increased circulation.
We have a ratio that we use of total notes as compared to total deposits in the market. And in fact, we had a meeting with the Bankers Association this morning, and what we have realized is that there is a bottleneck where the central bank has provided the banks with cash. But for some reason, that cash has not found its way to the customers. And we've been receiving complaints from the public saying they are not able to access cash in the banks. And so we came up with an arrangement with the Bankers Association today where banks will have to take an active interest in making sure that cash is made available to the public. And you are going to see a change starting from next week.
Dr. Mushavanu also spoke about the impending circulation of the new ZiG notes.
I did announce in the last monetary policy statement that we are looking at bringing in better quality notes. And that project is on course, and the public will be advised when the notes are ready for disbursement.
Meanwhile, analysts have concurred with the RBZ stance on the effect of the newly released year-on-year inflation figures in terms of impact on bank policy rate.
It's important to understand that interest rates are normally not determined by what happens to the annual inflation in 1 month, but by the average annual inflation for the next 12 months. And in our case, the projection is for the average annual inflation to start falling in October this year on account of the same base effect.
The formula is winning, the inflation rate is coming down. Now we are on 2-digit figures. We anticipate that inflation will drop to figures below 25 by year end. And I don't think there's need for adjustment of the bank policy rate. It's already a tight monetary policy that the central bank is implementing in order to control high levels of inflation and at the same time stabilize the exchange rate and make sure that there is order in the financial service sector. So far so good.
The central bank continues to tighten the monetary policy framework to meet economic stability targets. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Significant progress has been made in the construction of Kunzvi Dam in Mashonaland East Province, with government targeting to complete the flagship project this year.
Construction of Kunzvi Dam is on course, with the contractor currently working on the excavation of the spillway foundation and construction of houses for the 7 households on the spillway area.
Pa Kunzvi Dam pari zvino tapa 60%. Progress iri kufamba zvakanaka. Tikuita ma excavations spillway, tikuita zve outlet yedu, tikuisa concrete ne reinforcement. Uyezve tatanga program yekuti vanhu vari kuaffectwa nedhamu redu vavakirwe dzimba. Pari zvino taane 7 homesteads dzakutotanga kuvakwa. Tutasira kuti izvozvo zvikange zvapera vanhu vaenda pokugara, vawana pokugara pakanaka.
Speaking after touring the projects this Wednesday, the special advisor to the president responsible for monitoring implementation of government programs, Dr. Joram Gumbo, who was accompanied by the Mashonaland East Secretary for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Mr. Tavabarira Kutama Wufa, and other stakeholders, said completion of the dam would transform livelihoods in the province and provide clean water to both Mashonaland East and Harare provinces.
This dam is of critical importance, not only to Goromonzi people and Murewa, but even on the national landscape. It provides a lot of employment for the locals. It will provide a lot of activities for the people through agriculture, fisheries, eco-tourism, and also provision of clean water for the communities around here. For Harare, Epworth, Rua, and the surrounding communities of Goromonzi.
They've accepted this, and we have found places where these people, we are going to reorganize them, and so that they benefit directly from the project.
Basa riri kufamba kana iye zvino tine dzimba dziri kuvakwa dzevanhu vari kuaffectwa ne spillway. Progress iri kufamba, tikuzvikudza, tikuzvitenda zvakanyanya.
The construction of major dams has been one of the key targets of the Second Republic, with several water bodies have been commissioned while others are at various stages of execution.
Delegates to the 57th Assembly of the Southern African Development Community Parliamentary Forum have recommended practical strategies to raise funds for artificial intelligence initiatives.
More than 300 delegates, including speakers and members of parliament from across the SADC region, as well as representatives from development partners, are attending the high-level assembly in the resort city. With digital governance at the center of discussions, delegates are working to shape long-term strategies for regional cooperation and innovation. In this context, member states were implored to develop policies and programs that facilitate the mobilization of resources to support the integration and management of artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, it's something that requires a lot of resources, as many countries presented yesterday that they have an issue of resources, infrastructures, but that should not block for the project related to artificial intelligence to go ahead. The most important thing is the expertise that we need, that we are going to learn from other countries who have already gone ahead of us, and it's only after that that we'll think on how to mobilize funds.
We need to mobilize resources so that we can give priority and implement the artificial intelligence as a key element for the functioning of the parliament. And normally the commands come from the Ministry of Finance, where they are the one in charge to spearhead this process.
The adoption of AI in parliamentary operations and broader economic sectors is no longer optional, but a necessity for effective governance and regional development. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Mike Mupinga, whose dogs mauled a passerby to death on Saturday, will be back in court this Thursday on charges of rape, where a medical doctor is expected to testify on the reasons behind his court default.
Mupinga, who is under scrutiny for failing to appear in court on rape allegations, was back before the Harare Magistrates Court this Wednesday after the matter was rolled over for a default inquiry. However, the hearing was postponed to this Thursday, with a medical doctor expected to testify on why Mupinga defaulted court proceedings. The default inquiry comes on the heels of his recent court appearance on Tuesday, where he faces allegations of culpable homicide after his 3 pit bulls and a Rottweiler reportedly mauled a passerby to death in Bluffview on Saturday. Mupinga is also scheduled to return to court on Friday for a bail hearing in connection with the culpable homicide charge. He remains in custody as legal proceedings continue. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, remember to visit our website for these and more stories in detail. Our website is www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Or you can get in touch with us on our social media handles, that is at ZBC News Online.
And here are stories still to come in this bulletin. Now look at business news. A government targets a $2 billion United States dollar horticulture sector by 2030.
In sport, we'll take a look at the Warriors Kusafa update. The main news takes a breather. We'll be back with you shortly.
Are you a dynamic and enterprising woman running a small business? Whether you're involved in horticulture, fashion design, visual arts, confectionery, the beauty industry, catering and food services, event decor, poultry farming, goat projects, cross-border trading, or small-scale retailing, this is your moment. Join us from the 6th to the 8th of June at Harare Gardens for the inaugural Women's Market Galore. Showcase your business at this groundbreaking event hosted by Empowerment Champion, the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa. Admission is free and you are all invited to come. For registration and inquiries, please contact 0719-527-703 or 0778-858-056. Please note that this program will be extended to all provinces across the country on dates to be announced. Empowering women means empowering the nation. Don't miss this opportunity to shine.
Welcome to Enterprise Online's International Payment System. Today, we'll walk through making international payments with pre-booked exchange rates on Enterprise Online. First, log into your Enterprise Online account and navigate to the International Payments section. Select pre-booked exchange rate from your options. This ensures you lock in today's rate regardless of market fluctuations. Next, enter your payment details, recipient information, amount, and currency. The system automatically applies your pre-booked rate. Review all details carefully. Our system highlights any potential issues before submission. Click Confirm and select your authentication method. This extra security step protects your transaction. Done. Your payment is now processing with your pre-booked rate. Track its progress anytime in the transaction history section. Keep business moving. Make effortless international payments with Enterprise Online.
Welcome to a new era in tobacco farm. The Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board, TIMB, has rolled out the biometric grower management system to protect every genuine tobacco grower. With this innovative technology, only you can verify your identity for account adjustments, input collection, stop orders, and insurance. You also get support and payments without delays. Biometrics offer you security, efficiency, and transparency. Why wait? Visit the nearest TIMB office now with your national ID. We will capture your fingerprints and link them to your grower number. You can also register at tobacco selling points as you sell your tobacco. It's fast and it's easy. We guarantee that your biometric data is protected and will only be used to improve the tobacco industry database and processes. Our offices are in Harare, Butare, Musape, Murundara, Bandura, Karoi, Mvurwi, and Chimbui. Visit the office nearest to you, get your fingerprints captured, and secure a thriving future for the tobacco industry. Register your fingerprints. Secure your future. Grow with confidence.
The winter wheat planting window has been extended to the 15th of June 2025, giving farmers additional time to complete their planting activities. However, farmers are strongly encouraged to expedite their planting to take full advantage of the remaining time and ensure optimal crop establishment. Given the late planting, it's essential to adjust the seed rate upwards, potentially 260 kgs per hectare, to compensate for the anticipated reduction in tillers. At this stage, opting for early maturity wheat varieties is highly recommended, as these can mature before the onset of the rainy season. To start with a vigorous growth, basal fertilizer application is crucial at planting time, with a recommendation rate of 500 kgs per hectare of compound D or 350 kgs per hectare of zero blend. Immediately after planting, irrigating the fields to field capacity will help facilitate easy germination. Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development. Food security everywhere, every day.
Beneficiaries of the Presidential Emergency Medical Outreach Program say they are grateful to government for the initiative that has made a huge impact across the country. Kenya's Chivuje with that report.
Now 17 years old, Blessed Zimunya of Sakuva High Density Suburb in Mutare developed a tumor on the right humerus 6 months after birth, and the tumor has for years been growing until it became septic and even more painful. Blessed's mother, Tsitsimanwa, narrated the difficult situation they went through as a family owing to a child's illness.
Mamira zvazvakaita pana Blessed ndakambara zvakanyatsa kunaka, asi paanga ane 6 months ndo paakatanga kuita bundo. Pandakazosiyana nababa acho ari grade 7 ndo pachakatangawo kudini. Pandaitoya ndichimuona ndichidzoka asi mwana waindifonera kuti mama zviri kuzi kupararira hanzi ndinoda kubviswa chi, wakatanga kuti ndoda kunzwa operation. Apedza kudaro obva azoti mama ndandapuhwa mubhedha asi baba wadini wati hazviiti bauti udini uradzikwe.
The story changed for Blessed after the life-threatening part of his hand was amputated.
Handigoni kutendawo discovery ambulance nokundibatsira kwakaita dambudziko revoko raitomborovha chikoro, pamwe pacho ndaisatombonyora nekurwadzirwa.
Director Paradise Hospital, Dr. Prudence Mhlanga, revealed that Blessed's treatment was long overdue as it was now life-threatening.
Pama X-ray akaita takaona kuti bhonzo rake rinonzi humerus ndo ranga rakaita bundu ranga riripo. Then ndobva tadaidza team yemadoctors etinoshanda nawo panapa, takadaidza unonzi Dr. Mtsekwa netimu yawo, ndobva taendesa mwana kutheatre tikanomuoperata tikabvisa ruoko rwake kusvika samwe apapa. Anditika saka takabvisa chuma yese yanga iripo nepati yeruoko rwacho rwese ranga riripo, ndobva zvabva takazviendesa kulaboratory, takamirira mari dzawo kuti anouya achiti changa chiri chii. Asi kubva takaita izvo zvakamubatsira mwana uyu, zvekuti infection iya yabhedhini yanga iripo hapachina, kurwadza kwanga kuripo hapachina.
Discovery Ambulance Services Manicaland Supervisor Mr. Fred Fordson says his organization will continue to support blessed and other vulnerable members of the society under the Presidential Emergency Medical Outreach Program.
Tisikumusiya asi tichamba tichimubatsiridza pese patinenge tiri kufamba, tichafamba naye tichimubatsiridza pane zvese zvatinogona kuita kuti timubatsiridze. Tiri pascheme iyo yePresidential Medical Scheme, tiri kufamba tichiita ma-outreach kunyika yese ku 10 provinces dzese dzemuno muZimbabwe.
The Presidential Emergency Medical Outreach Program seeks to improve healthcare delivery, achieve lower death rates, and increase access to medical care in rural areas. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
Amazing initiative right there. Now following report, small-scale miners in Matabeleland South Province have been urged to form cooperatives to achieve sustainable growth as the country pursues a mining-driven transformed society.
One of the major headaches brought about by rampant small-scale mining activities across Matabeleland South has been massive land degradation. Addressing the business community, miners, councils and traditional leaders this Tuesday, Matabeleland South Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Albert Ngulube, called on miners to form cooperatives and practice responsible mining.
You contribute 40%, but locally most of you. Why don't you live organized? Let's be organized high, Minister. Still equipment and abantu equipment simine si organized manje abantu bakhe le problem lifuna ukura him ngedwa. Let's be organized and work together.
Matabeleland South Province has however experienced massive growth riding on the devolution program implemented by the Second Republic.
The people of Gwanda, they are development oriented. What we have discovered is that the projects that we undertake utilizing the devolution funds, they will be initiated by the communities. Then the RDC will then come in, and I think that's a good culture for the people in the district.
We are guided by the vision of His Excellency, Vision 2030, and DS1. Lamanyama government policies that are in place. Okungumsebenzi wethu as leaders ukuthi sibone ukuthi these policies and statutes are being implemented.
Matabeleland South boasts of rich mineral deposits with major mining firms which include Blanket and How Mine contributing to the national gold reserves. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Gwanda.
The government has launched the Presidential Empowerment Scheme for children of veterans of the liberation struggle in a move meant to improve livelihoods of families of the country's liberation fighters. Our Midlands Bureau Chief Faraj Kumira has that story.
The Children of Zimbabwe Liberation War Veterans Association was presented with $500,000 United States as seed money to kickstart their business ventures. The initiative is part of the broader plans by President Emmerson Mnangagwa to ensure that veterans of the liberation struggle and their families become economically independent.
The eyes of history are upon us. Comrades, the blood of children flows within you. The spirit of revolution and resilience is your birthright. Today, we have you not resources, but a sacred torch. Carry it forward, build your business, build your life, build Zimbabwe. The struggle continues. Now on the economic battlefield, go for and conquer.
Minister of Veterans of the Liberation Struggle Affairs, Senator Monica Mavunga, implored children of veterans of the liberation struggle to shun corruption in utilizing the funds.
Let us shun corruption, entitlement, and division. Let us embrace productivity, accountability, and national service. You are not just being empowered for yourselves, but for your families, your communities, and for the future of Zimbabwe.
The Minister of Youth Empowerment, Development and Vocational Training, Honorable Tinoma Chakaire, weighed in saying there is need to create some revenue streams to ensure the funding reaches to all deserving children of the veterans of the liberation struggle. Children of veterans of the liberation struggle say the initiative will transform their lives.
Chokwadi mu history yeZimbabwe nasuno ndopa zvatanga. Naizvozvo tinoda kuvatenda. Tinoti president vamunangagwa uchi. Amen. Chinhu chese pane pachinototanga. Regai nditaure nditi. Nasu uno kuuya kwaita mari ngaisati divide. Hallelujah. Takutanga kuvetana vana baba vedu vakavetwa kudhara. Kuti wewe uri mwana wovetereri kana kuti kwete.
The president asati zvakamboitika muhistory yeZimbabwe kuti president vanorangarira vana vevamwe vavakarwa navo kuti vawane that empowerment fund vakazvininipisa. Isusu hatina mbononetsa kuti president tipei vakanzwa moyo wavo.
The occasion also witnessed the association being presented with a utility vehicle to help them in their day-to-day operations. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
The government is putting final touches to the National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan, a 5-year blueprint for the preservation of biodiversity.
Stakeholders who attended the 2-day National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan validation workshop in Bulawayo from this Tuesday have expressed gratitude for the opportunity to contribute to the draft document. The program was highly beneficial and stakeholders are now eager to see the implementation of the plan to preserve Zimbabwe's biodiversity.
We've benefited a lot from this biodiversity strategy where we are implementing this strategy to make sure that we preserve the natural resources and the biodiversity as it were.
Truda kuedza kugadzirisa kuti tienzanise kuti tingachengeta sei mamiriro edu ezviwanikwa zvakare tichiwesedzanisawo kuti budiriro yenyika ifambire mberi.
The good thing about the program is it's capitalizing on the whole of government and whole of society approach. So we need to ensure that our implementation recognize the local structures that are there from village level going upwards to the district level.
For us to conserve biodiversity and for us to have wildlife species that are conserved, we need a multi-sectorial sections to come together and implement this action plan and strategy for biodiversity.
The engagement underscores the government's commitment to sustainable development and the creation for an upper middle income society by 2030.
A suspected habitual criminal has been arrested in connection with over 20 cases of unlawful entry and theft after a police operation in Gweru. Tafaraj Kumira has the details.
Gweru-based Joseph Piri, aged 41, has been nabbed in connection with over 20 cases of unlawful entry and theft in a series of incidents that had left communities in the town devastated. Piri, who was released from prison in 2023 after serving time for a case of murder, led police to recover an assortment of goods worth thousands of dollars, including solar panels and television sets, among essential household items.
From the investigation which have been done, we have managed to clear more than 20 cases from this suspect. So we are saying zero tolerance to criminal activity in this community. Our police are very ready to arrest all those who are engaged in these criminal activities.
Recovery of the stolen property has brought closure to some of the community members who had been disturbed by losing their valuable goods.
Uyu munhu anoratidza kuti anga atora kuzhinji kwakasiyana siyana sekuona kwamuri kuita, saka tinotenda neshungu dzavakaisa kutibatsira kubata bavha iyi. Ende totenda vazonoichengeta kwavari kunoisa ikoko bhozi roradza kuti atishungurudza
mazuva mazhinji nevanhu vakasiyana siyana munharaunda ino yeMutapu.
Tinotenda mapurisa eMutapu nekurika kwari kuita zvinhu kuti dai varamba vakadaro vabate mbavha.
Cases of unlawful entry and theft have become common in Gweru suburbs amid calls for stiffer penalties to perpetrators to deter would-be offenders. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
The government has launched the model and benchmarking policy on anti-sexual harassment, which aims to prevent and address sexual harassment in tertiary institutions while promoting a culture of dignity and respect for students and staff.
In a significant move expected to create a safe and respectful learning environment in tertiary institutions, government has taken a deliberate stance to ensure sexual harassment-free spaces in learning institutions by launching a robust model and benchmarking anti-sexual harassment policy. The policy was launched in Harare this Wednesday, with stakeholders in the education sector confident the move will strengthen higher and tertiary institutions' accountability and response mechanisms to protect both students and employees from all forms of sexual harassment.
We are happy with the bold movement that has been made by the ministry and the ownership that they have showed today to say the next step is implementation. We should then see the results in terms of the students reporting cases and clear protection measures for those that are going to report.
Policy demonstrates a strong institutional commitment. The policy includes mechanisms for monitoring, apart from implementation, promoting accountability and continuous improvement.
The Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, Ambassador Frederick Shava, said the model and benchmarking anti-sexual harassment policy is an overarching policy that aims to support institutions in ensuring the development and implementation of effective, consistent and comprehensive institutional sexual harassment policies.
The true measures of its success will be found in its implementation. We await the implementation, its monitoring and evaluation, and most importantly perhaps in the cultural transformation that it must inspire in our society. Furthermore, institutions will be required to report periodically on their progress to the ministry and other relevant oversight bodies.
All institutions of higher and tertiary education are expected to use the policy as a benchmark to develop their own institutional sexual harassment policies, with government hinting that complacency and resistance to implement the policy will not be taken lightly. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
23 primary schools in Manicaland Province, Mtasa District, have received textbooks, chairs and desks under a government initiative to improve the learning environment.
In line with the quest to improve access to quality education, Mutasa South Legislator Honorable Mishek Mugadza donated textbooks to 23 primary schools and furniture for 4 schools in his constituency. Beneficiary schools expressed appreciation for the support, saying it will improve the book learner ratio.
Tinoda kutenda nezvikuru zvataitirwa na Minister wedu Honorable Mugadza. Vatipa madeski, mabhuku, vana vedu tine enrollment yakawandisa zvokuti madeski ayachatisvitsa kure.
Learners are going to enjoy having so many books to read, and the pupil book ratio is going to be improved.
Mutasa District Schools Inspector Mrs. Chipomulambo and Mutasa South Legislator Advocate Mishek Mugadza are convinced such interventions will have a positive impact in improving access to quality education.
This will go a long way in improving our quality education and our pass rate. Presently, Mutasa is 71% pass rate in the primary school, and we hope we are going to reach 100%. He has given us a variety of books.
We are happy. We have had my books atakapoa ne stakeholder
kuti tipe ma-schools edu vatokwana vese. At least we have given 23 primary schools, and they are quite very important because most of them, they are agriculture, which is the backbone of the economy of Manicaland.
The construction of more schools is probably one of the biggest achievements by government and its partners in promoting access to quality education countrywide. Kenya Sivuje, ZBC News, Mutasa.
District Development Officers from the Ministry of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development have received vehicles to enhance mobility and service delivery.
District development officers who received new vehicles from government have promised enhanced service delivery.
Sizakwanisa ukuthi sifike endaweni ezikhatshana njengokufuna kamongameli uHE uPresident Mnangagwa ukuthi no man and no place must be left behind.
We had challenges of serving all our clients in the district because of mobility issues. So with this vehicle, I hope we are going to service all the ones in the district.
These vehicles are going to make our mobility to be very easier. When we look at women empowerment, we were reaching the hard to reach areas which were which were inaccessible.
The Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Senator Monica Mchangwa, emphasized that the goal is to reach every ward, tackle issues which include sexual exploitation and gender-based violence, and support emerging enterprises.
The idea is to make them mobile. There's a lot of work which needs to be done to see that families are living in an environment which is conducive to bringing up better citizens. It is the work of our officers who go all the way up to the ward level. We also are working within the mantra of our president that we shouldn't leave anyone behind or any place behind.
The Second Republic is on a drive to improve livelihoods countrywide under the inclusive development mantra towards achieving Vision 2030.
The main news takes a break. We come back with business news. Stay with us.
Create big moments with the fam. Get the KFC Family Fiesta. That's 6 pieces of chicken, 4 zinger wings, 2 mashing gravies, and large chip.
Steelmate Investments, your friend in steel, is the leading supplier of high-quality steel and roofing sheets in Zimbabwe. We also supply grating, clear view fencing, Penox plates, puke pipes, checker plates, seamless pipes, and many more products that we have in stock. Visit us today at our Glen Eagles branch, which is at stand number 706 Glen Eagles Road in Harare, or call us on 0787 001 643 up to 6. You can also visit our affirmative branch at number 346 Affirmative Way in Willowvale, or call 0788 930 556 up to 61. Our Mbare branches are at gate number 8 CSO at Magaba, or you can call that Mbare branch on 0782 408 415. Our other Mbare branch is the Discount Steel branch at number 1 Easterman's Place in Magaba as well, or call 0736 439 999. Steelmate Investments, your friend in steel.
In the month of July 2025, the world will gather at one of nature's greatest wonders, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. From the 23rd to the 31st of July 2025, Zimbabwe will proudly host the 15th meeting of the Conference of the Contracting Parties to the Convention on Wetlands, COP15. This is more than a conference, it's a call to action, running under the theme, protecting wetlands for our common future. COP15 will unite 173 nations to address pressing issues, wise use of wetlands, biodiversity loss, climate change, and sustainable development. Together, we will explore innovative solutions, strengthen global commitments, and ensure wetlands remain vital for the current generation and those to come. Join us in shaping a sustainable future. COP15, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, July 23rd Chapter 31st. Protecting wetlands for our common future starts here. This message was brought to you by the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife.
Welcome back. The horticulture sector has recorded significant growth, with government targeting to achieve a $2 billion United States dollar horticulture industry by 2030. Let's get more details.
The horticulture industry, which had nosedived over the past years, is now on a growth path thanks to favorable policies by government, among them the Horticulture Recovery and Growth Plan launched by President Emmerson Mnangagwa a few years ago. This Wednesday, government officials and agriculture stakeholders converged in Creston Bank on the outskirts of Harare to take stock of the horticultural plan achievements, which have seen blueberries recording the highest margin of 36% annual growth, while pecans also gained tremendous ground. This year, potatoes were produced in excess, with government confident of maintaining the trajectory.
We envisage that the sector can easily become a $2 billion industry by 2030. We have seen, of course, exports increasing exponentially, riding on blueberry, pecan nut, avocado, citrus, and those exports. So we have seen these exports increasing, but we need continuous and continued investments, which is why the fiscal authorities become very important to be able to allow our farmers to retain significant amounts to invest further for expanded production and for increased productivity.
The presidential horticulture scheme has also played a pivotal role in empowering over 1 million households to grow fruit trees, sweet potatoes, and nutritious gardens.
Internally, of course, we have seen growth in terms of the vegetables. We have seen growth in terms of the presidential sweet potato programming, which has seen us really getting sweet potato vines to more than 1 million households countrywide.
While the sector eyes over 1.5 billion United States dollars by 2025, 2 billion United States dollars by 2030, the horticulture engagement is expected to iron out issues of mobilizing sustainable financial support to boost the horticulture infrastructure and increase productivity.
Well, that's our look at business news, taking us to a break. When we come back, we get the latest in the world of sport with Anna Shemrombedzi in the Sports Corner. Stay with us.
ZBC Current Affairs, thriving for excellence and perfection in setting the agenda, shaping the Zimbabwean story and sustaining the narrative through detailed analysis and discussions, bringing to you polished live coverage of national events. We are ZBC Current Affairs, delivering to you the national budget, live parliamentary debates, independence, Heroes Day and Defense Forces events. We bring you insightful documentaries, special programs, and thought-provoking debates. ZBC Current Affairs. We are definitely Zimbabwean, telling an accurate, balanced, and unfettered Zimbabwean story.
Salibonani. Chini.
Yinda.
Holweni. Mabuyani. Dumelang.
Mapona bien.
Mulibwanji.
Dumela.
Hello.
Magadi.
Natsaka. Aushen. Mwakaite wani.
Kwaiwani.
Do you remember back in the day? We would gather at that one house that had a TV in the whole neighborhood to watch our favorite programs on ZBC. Whether it was thrilling wrestling matches, captivating dramas, or the iconic Ezomkito, ZBC TV was an integral part of our upbringing. It wasn't just a channel, it was a shared joy that brought us together. Fast forward to today, and ZBC continues its tradition of delivering top-tier entertainment to your homes. Whether you're tuning in for news, music, educational content, or gripping dramas, we're committed to keep you entertained and informed 24/7. With an expanded channel lineup, we're more than just broadcasters, we're a reflection of Zimbabwe's enduring spirit. Join us on this exciting journey as we revive the golden days and create new ones. Together, we're building a brighter future towards Vision 2030. ZBC TV, your voice, your choice.
Get ready. All in one place. Introducing the new Zim Digital Decoder so you can enjoy more in full HD for free without monthly subscriptions. You can now get to enjoy Zimbabwe's best and new TV and radio channels on the Zim Digital Decoder countrywide. All you need to do is purchase your Zim Digital Decoder for $25 or ZiG equivalent. This is a once-off payment for the decoder, no monthly subscriptions. Hurry and get your Zim Digital Decoder at Transmedia Offices, Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe, Kingstones, Ground Floor, Harare, and all TV broadcasters. Zim Digital, Tirimotese, Sonke Skon.
Welcome to the Sports Corner. Anna Shambrombedzi here with the latest in the world of sport. Now, preparations for the Interprovincial Athletics Championships are now at an advanced stage ahead of the competitions penciled for White City Stadium in Blayo on Saturday.
A qualifier for the Southern Region Senior Championship set for Harare from the 26th of next month. The Interprovincial Athletics competition is expected to attract the country's top athletes. Bulawayo athletes are already fine-tuning ahead of the make or break competition.
Ngikhangelele njengokuqala kwami ngikhalela ukuthi lami improve kulokho ngangikwenza ngaze ngafika lapha Interprovincial le engumgqibelo.
Mina ngikhangelela ukuthi lami ngenze kahle njengoba lathi lonyaka besilandile kwethu province. I think kuzawube kuyinto enhle ejabulisa kakhulu because into esabe sesijayele ukuyenza vele lapha.
It's a very big advantage kwathiri because iri ndo ground ratajaira ndo matino trainera ndo matino manyera. So
the host province is now seized with compiling start list for races after receiving an overwhelming interest from provinces.
We are happy with the preparation so far. The teams or the provinces managed to send all their team list. We are happy and we are raring to go. National
Athletics Association of Zimbabwe NAS Director for Competitions Manuel Mpofu is optimistic they will select the best team for the senior championships.
In terms of preparedness, yes, I'm happy because that dry run went very well and we saw the areas where we need to improve.
Harare Province are the defending champions of the competition, having won it at the same venue. Top Zimbabwean athletes Dennis Howe, Adrian Tafa, Clifford Zuze and Gareth Muishi who participated at the World Relays in Guangzhou, China. Last month will battle it out with other athletes at the interprovincial competitions. Mthokozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The Zimbabwe Warriors drew 0-0 with Mauritius in their 2025 COSAFA Cup opener in Bloemfontein, South Africa this Wednesday.
The match was a closely contested affair with both teams creating chances but unable to find the back of the net. Thando Wenkosi Ngwenya was heavily involved earlier on for Zimbabwe but failed to capitalize on the team's opportunities. The match remained goalless at half-time, with Zimbabwe conceding a shot from the edge of the area after failing to clear their lines. However, it did not find its way to the back of the net. In the second half, Mauritius finally found the net, but the goal was disallowed after a VAR check revealed that the ball had deflected off a Mauritian player's hand. Despite the best efforts of both teams, the match ended 0-0. Zimbabwe will now face South Africa, who lost 1-0 to Mozambique in an earlier match. The Developmental Warriors' performance in the COSAFA Cup is seen as crucial preparation for the 2028 Olympic qualifiers, which start next year. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe's senior team, the Warriors, are in Morocco preparing to play friendly matches against Burkina Faso and Niger. These matches are part of their preparation for the Africa Cup of Nations in December and the World Cup qualifiers later this year.
That's it from the Sports Corner. Guys, it's back to you.
Thank you, Anashi, for the sport update. That caps tonight's bulletin. From the crew behind the scenes and all of us here, good night.
Good night.
Welcome to Constituency Talk. Today we are taking you to Gweru Central Constituency, where victory celebrations are underway, coupled with vital medical outreach programs. It's a fundamental principle that when people elect you to office, a heartfelt thank you for their support is in order. Following the 2023 election victory, Honorable Winston Chitando embarked on a constituency-wide tour, visiting every party district to express his gratitude for the votes cast for President Emmerson Mnangagwa, himself and all the councillors. However, he felt that it wasn't quite enough. In the spirit of African culture, a true celebration isn't complete without sharing food. So Honorable Chitando is back in Gweru Central, this time with an abundance of food and drinks, to extend another warm thank you to his constituents. Our first stop on this celebratory tour is Tachi in Ward 37.
Nasi njomfaro mkuru tiri pano pa Ward Center tichidya nokumwa yanonzi navakuru kudya nokurasharasha ari mabiko atakaitirwa naMP wedu vaChitando. Vakamboya kumashure vachititenda maererano nokuvavhotera ivo napresident nakansela, asi nhasi vazouya kuti tifare tiri pamwe chete tichidya nokunwa sezvandambotaura. Iyi tichidzokera kubva kumashure, MP munhu ane vanhu pamwoyo, vakatisira chigayo chinova kwatinoti kuchigaisana Chitando chiri muno muward medu paseri panoipa Chipangani Business Center.
Vision 2030 tiri kuinda nokuda kwahonorable vane chido navanhu pamwoyo. Tine zvinhu zvakawanda zvatiri kusangana naMP nguva dzose. Munhu vanoti vakaenda haakangani vanhu vavakavada, vanoda vanhu vose ende nguva dzose tinogara tiinavo. Sanhasi po pano pamutambo watira pano pane takaita chakanaka, madrinks ari pano, vanhu vari kudya nokumwa pano. Pakaurwa mombe, zimombe, kwete kamombe kekureserve asi mombe dzinowanikwa mombe chaidzo. Saka nemufaro uri pano vanhu vari kufara vose seward.
Honorable Chitando was met by jubilant supporters who deeply appreciate this gesture. They see it as a valuable chance to interact directly with their National Assembly member, voice the challenges their communities face, and highlight issues that require attention.